especially in the identity space, one of the things we have to start doing is start thinking a little bit more like attackers. And how would I abuse this access? How would I abuse this access control mechanism and give myself the rights to be able to do whatever I want? Service accounts, bots. I know this is something that SailPoint is actually starting to get really big on, is controlling these non-user accounts. Passwords, API keys, these kinds of things are what are actually leaving us vulnerable. It's not so much, we talked a little bit about, you come home, there's smart TVs and IoT and stuff at the house. I'm not aware of like a major campaign where we started seeing a whole lot of home devices popped, and then that was getting in and impacting and infecting workstations. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but I haven't seen anything in mass. But what I see all the time is people stealing API secrets out of GitHub repos. I see people all the time, getting passwords, and then people are reusing passwords. And so I think like we need to take a real risk-based approach to managing identity, and not dream up like these really kind of fantastical threat vectors, right? When it's way too easy to just guess a password still.
I think where we're going to go is, we're leveraging identity. We're also looking at zero trust in other aspects of the company, right? So whether it is from a microsegmentation perspective, right, where we're building kind of those encrypted communities of interest, that would be a case where we would not necessarily dynamically remove those privileges.
Defenders think in lists and attacker thinks in graphs. And while that's true, attackers will always win. And that's kind of echoing what Ian talked about. We're not seeing the whole picture. All we're seeing is a checklist. And as long as we simply follow a checklist, we're always going to be behind. Having said that, I think the approach is dependent on the level of maturity that your organization has. So I also think it's important to recognize where you are and be honest with yourself. What is the level of maturity of your organization, of your InfoSec team? What can you handle? You might only be able to handle a short list, and you may not be ready for graphs, but even that self acceptance and then being able to voice that and put it on paper for upper management is very important, because then the decisions can either be made or not made, but knowingly.